All right, let's give this a shot again. Now with the TRRS to TRS adapter. Hopefully that works better. Put that on lock. Stick it in the pocket along with extra cord. Probably need one more loop out of that. I don't know if it'll want to cooperate though. I have to feed that back in when I actually go to use it with the jacket pocket. But let's get the bike started up, I guess. Should already be somewhat warm from running it earlier. Audio did not come out at all. I had thought the Sony adapter or Sony recorder would be fine with the Purple Panda mic, since the mic apparently is default TRRS and the recorder has a TRRS input. Apparently something it does not like about that. So now of course it's sprinkling again already. Well, we'll make this quick. Get up here on 6 points, probably won't go all the way out. Just maybe past the tracks a little bit where we can get some speed up. Maybe turn around at Alexander. Be careful out here in wet conditions. That tire is not the greatest either, but I don't think that'll really matter on this kind of stuff. It's still got enough knobby that it's not running a bald on the road. Not the greatest with dirt, but I have a brand new tire in the garage. I'm actually going to strap that on the back of the bike when I go down to Missouri this weekend. I made an appointment with a shop that's in the last town right before St. Clair where we're meeting up, and they agreed to do a tire change for me Friday afternoon. So I just got to get there during business hours, and they said they'll get me in and get that tire swapped out for me. That'll be nice when we hit the road Saturday morning. I will be running on a brand new Dunlop D605. So they're 50-50 ish, probably a little more dirt oriented, dual sport tire. They have the D606, which is much more dirt oriented dual sport tire, and that seems to be the most popular option for these bikes. The most popular combo seems to be to run a Pirelli Rallycross MT21 on the front and a Dunlop D606 on the rear. A couple downsides with that plan. I'm fine with the front, and I'll probably do that once my front tire wears out. The front tire still has quite a bit more life than the rear does. Not sure exactly how long it'll last. Right now we're almost closing in on 2,100 miles, and it's still looking pretty good. The rear, though, you can definitely tell it's had a lot more road miles on it than I would have liked. Center knobbies that are kind of worn down. But the D606 is a pretty aggressive dual sport tire. It may be one of the most aggressive ones that's actually out there on the market right now. Not that there's a ton of options out there, but there are a few. And but the downsides with it are, one, it's expensive, and two, it is only available in a slightly larger profile than the stock tire on here. I think the stock tire is like a 120/80 or something like that. 120, yeah, something like that. And then the D606 is a 120/90 or something. I don't remember exactly what the numbers are, but whatever it comes out to, it's about an inch taller overall than the stock tire. And that means that by running that tire, you will lose about half of an inch. So, because half of that 1 inch is going to be down below your swing arm, it's going to push the bike up half an inch. But you may say, half an inch, that's no big deal, who cares? Well, this is a pretty tall bike, right off the factory floor. I don't remember what the seat height is, if it's something like 35 or 36 inches. A nice bee just landed on my windscreen. Yeah, 35, 36 inches, somewhere in there. Way too tall for me. So there's about an inch of factory lowering that you can do. Just an adjustment on the rear shock that it lowers it about an inch. I put a Seat Concepts low seat on here. It gave me about another inch of lowering on the seat height. And then I also revalved the rear shock. That was primarily because this thing is known to have a kind of nasty kick to it when you hit a bump. The rebound damping is not great from the factory, and people have been known to get bucked off of it. So, common thing people like to do is rebuild that or revalve that rear shock. And while you're at it, it's a good idea to respring it for your appropriate height or appropriate weight. So I did that, and then while I was in there, they also make spacers, or shims I guess they call them, that go into the rear shock and basically prevent it from rising up all the way. So I put about enough shims in there to lower it about another inch. That seems, between all those things, that's got me to a pretty comfortable place where my feet I can comfortably get the balls of both feet on the ground. And that's with my weight on it. Without my weight on it, it's still pretty tall, but put your weight on it, take out that initial sag, and yeah, it's pretty reasonable for your feet now. Well, the D606 would add an extra half of an inch onto that height that I already spent a ton of time and money recovering or lowering. So if I just put another half an inch back on there, that would be kind of an unpleasant surprise once that tire got switched out. But the D605 is available in exactly the same profile as the stock tire, so no loss in seat height there. So I decided I was going to give that a try. It's not quite as aggressive as the 606, but the benefits, not losing that extra height, it's about half the price, which is great. And from what I've read, it lasts as longer than the D606. And if you do a lot more road riding, and from what I've heard people say, it lasts longer than the 606, which is great because obviously where I live in the middle of central Illinois, it's not a short trip to any off-road areas, and it's really not, even that short of a trip to gravel, which isn't really like dirt or single track or anything, right? It's still kind of road riding and not the greatest on your knobbies, but so yeah, having a tire that's a little more street oriented than the most aggressive dual sport tire, I think is a pretty good compromise for me. But we'll see how it performs this weekend when I go on this ride down there. There'll be some opportunities for some off-roading, like real off-roading in the dirt. It'll be mostly gravel with some dirt, or with some pavement in there too, but there'll be a few more off-road sections that we're going to check out and see how that tire does. I mentioned I was putting that on. One of the guys on the ADV Rider forum asked for report on it, how it performs when we get out there. Now, I'm probably not the best one to do a full comparison, being that I haven't ridden a very wide breadth of tires on this thing, but it's at least give me an idea if I'm slipping and sliding all over the place compared to what it was like on stock. Then I'll know it probably wasn't the greatest upgrade, but I'm not too worried about it. Just from the looks of the tread, it seems like it's probably a bit more aggressive than my stock tires. Anyway, enough rambling about tires. Really what this ride is about is testing out the audio, and I think we got a long enough ride in here that we'll be able to get a good test on that. Didn't get quite as high a speed as we had been because I didn't want to get caught out in any more rain than I already have been. And also I got some bugs splattered on the windshield here, or on the, not windshield, but the visor, the helmet, which is kind of annoying. And I want to get those cleaned up. And my wife is cooking dinner, so can't be going too long. She will be wanting to eat as soon as it's ready. So, pulling into the house here. And after dinner, we'll go check out these files and see what we're looking like. So, signing off.